Okay, so here is my third video. Three fingers. Um, why is it so dark looking? I don't know. So, I'm trying to address. Well, yes, I wear glasses sometimes. They're a pain, and they slide off my face a lot. So I don't wear them too often. But I want to address a few things. First off, I'm just trying to get into the rhythm of actually doing this and speaking to a camera and speaking to an audience, hopefully at some point, um, and give you a little background about me. And, um, I touched on a few things, but didn't really get in detail earlier in earlier videos. Um, First thing is, um, like I've said, I've made mistake is not the right word. It choices. I've made poor choices throughout my life. Several. I mean, I can't even say how bad I wish I could go back and tap my old self on the shoulder and say, hey, look, you're about to do this if you go down this road, or if you go down this road, this is going to happen. Um, I was arrested one time in my life. One time. And that was almost 7 years ago. And that was for robbing a bank. Yes, I did, folks. I robbed a bank. I did it with a note that said I had a gun, and I didn't. Um, I was actually just a skinny, strung out heroin addict at that point, and just desperate for money for another fix. And that was probably the lowest time of my life. Um, I've been using drugs of some kind for so long to either mask my pain, both physical and mental, emotional also, all of them, or to just completely numb myself. And about 7 years ago, it's coming up on 7 years, I completely hit rock bottom. And actually, it's like a dream when I think about it that I actually did it. I walked in the bank, I handed them the note. I walked out with I think like $3,200 because I only wanted loose hundreds. I knew about die packs. I was scared of that, and I was scared. I was scared to death the whole time. Of course, like I'm standing there with a hood on. It was summertime, real smart, and face exposed. They caught me within a few days, and I got lucky. I only had to do a little over a year in jail, and what a lot of people would have had to do longer than that. Had I had prior stuff, probably would have. But it was actually one of the biggest changes in my life. Um, it definitely, I needed to go away for that amount of time, and I needed to see that with every single choice you make, there is every action there's a reaction, and this is serious, man. You know, I needed to think about a lot of things, and still to this day, I haven't got everything right. I mean, obviously, look, I'm starting all over again, as I touched on earlier, from a failed relationship, from someone who I've known almost most of my life from when we were kids. Um, Me and her were friends, but um, I never actually learned how to be alone with myself, how to be on my own and be okay with being by myself, and my thoughts and my anxiety and my fears, and And, so I have self sabotaged. I mean, I can't tell you how many times. And it's really a repeating cycle, man. It just, it will continue to repeat if you make the same mistakes that I did. And I think that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from now. Not to mention the fact that I don't believe we're meant to be living like this. This is like a rat race. What society has turned into has become a rat race. Just a you know it's the haves and the have-nots, and it's so much information all the time. Your phone ringing and calling you, and as I said in my bio, that I was born. I'm one of the last generations born in a time. I'm 37, so I remember what it was like. Where if you couldn't find a payphone, you were screwed. I'm also going to try and watch my language. I'm noticing that I am cursing way too much. Um, you know, I'm not trying to be a tough guy or anything like that. I just curse when I get nervous. So you'll hear some F bombs, but I'm trying to keep that to a minimum. Um, anyway, I remember a time like that. I remember when things were a lot different. There wasn't a camera on you every second of every day. Um, Now things are different, and you either evolve with it or you don't. And I did not. I mean, I fought it pretty much. I still don't like it. I still don't like it. I'm not in love with it. I like my food. I like having a nice phone, and I like a lot of the things technology provides. But I feel like it's gotten a little out of hand, and it's going to continue to get out of hand. That's just me, and I think that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from. Is just I I I don't believe in the way the world is run right now. I don't believe the path we're on. I'm real big into science. I love Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, and all them dudes that or watching stuff on the universe and shit. Like, that's my favorite stuff. I love it because it reminds me that there is something much bigger than us. We get so caught in our little daily lives down here worrying about money and stressing over the stupidest shit when really, I mean, one asteroid, boom, we're done. I mean, that's the end of the human race. But you know, to get back to what I was saying before, I made so many mistakes, and they're not mistakes, bad choices. I gotta keep remembering to say it properly. I made so many bad choices that I have so much anxiety, and it's only built worse and worse with each bad choice. It's only gotten worse, and you know, if there's if there's anyone out there who kind of feels just like that, I would love to know, because it almost sets me up to be like, okay, what the next choice? What bad choice am I gonna make this time? And how am I gonna set myself back this time? You know, the latest one was for love, from my heart. It was, you know, it was just toxic. I was toxic. She was toxic. It was bad. It was a bad combo. But what sucks is I never learned how to be alone, single, because I was always either had a girlfriend or was in jail in recent history over the last 10 years or so. And, um, you know, so at 37, I'm like learning from scratch how to be Joe, how to be just, you know, how to be, and I stress so much about money and paying the bills and all this stuff because I don't have a great job, and I don't even know what I want to do for work, but I'm starting to not give a f, because I feel like uh, that's the mistake. That's one of the mistakes I've been making, is that it's all about money. And you get enough money, you go get a lot of money in your life, and then you'll be happy. And for someone with anxiety that worries about everything all the time, I mean, I can't explain to people. This is what I have trouble with. I have trouble with trying to explain to people without anxiety what it's like on a daily basis. My brain is firing all the time. All the time. Just useless information and useless trying to analyze everything and figure everything out before it happens. And where quote unquote normal people just let things be. And you know this is where I'm like, I'm on a path. That's the path I'm on, is trying to learn how to just let it be, let things fall into place. um you know this video is getting long, but I feel like I needed to provide some backstory. I had a long history, bad history with drugs, self-medicating, because physically I have a bad back. I have like several herniated discs, and like a few other issues. And at the same time, I was not getting with the program of technology as it was coming up, so I was becoming dumber. And I'm actually not a stupid person. I'm actually somewhat intelligent. I read. And actually, this is the book that began. It's called The One Thing, written by Gary Keller. If you're going to get a book to help you with I mean, all life's big questions, this is the book, The One Thing. This book has already begun to change my life. Actually, without this book, I never would have started posting videos on YouTube. Which, by the way, I'm going to keep learning how to make my videos cooler, and do different stuff, because I never did it before. I watched plenty of YouTube videos, but I never actually did it. So I'm trying to learn how to edit and do all kinds of cool stuff. That'll be coming in the future. Um, but I just think I wanted to touch on a few things that were important, in that, you know, um, there's no bells and whistles here. Like, I'm just trying